Today we're talking about the Sigma 85mm 1.4 Art Sony E-mount. Coming up. Hey, I'm Luke with Wedding Film Coach. Thanks so much for stopping by the channel. If you are new to wedding filmmaking or new to videography, you're in a great place because we talk all about helping beginners get started with video. And specifically, if you are into wedding filmmaking or you're thinking about getting started with wedding filmmaking, I would love to help you out. There's a free ebook on my website. There's a link in the description below. Check that out. It's going to answer a lot of questions. It's going to help you avoid a lot of mistakes that I made and a lot of us made whenever we got started. It's my free gift to you for stopping by the channel. Thanks so much. And real quick, if you are looking at a lot of videos online, trying to figure out how to get started with video, what's the best camera to use, what's the best gear, what's your philosophy on this, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel. There's going to be a lot more content coming out over the next year, and I'm super excited to be starting my YouTube journey. Thanks for coming along. Subscribe, hit that notification bell, and let's start talking about this lens. So like I said, this is the Sony 85mm 1.4 Art lens, and this is the Sony mount, so it's native. This lens has been out for a while with Canon mounts and Nikon mounts, and I think it was back maybe the middle or end of May, they announced that Sigma announced that they would be coming out with native Sony E-mounts for the very popular Sony A7 series or even the 6000 series. People just went crazy, and so I did a little research, looked at some images that were taken on Sonys with adapters for these lenses that were using Canon mounts or Nikon mounts, and I was impressed. I thought they looked good. I didn't see a lot of video for them, so it made me kind of wonder, okay, is this going to be good for what I do? Because I don't do a lot of photography. I thought maybe if this lens is good enough, I will start getting into photography more. 85mm is a great lens for headshots, for portraits. And so I thought, hey, maybe I could do a little bit around my hometown because I don't do that much filmmaking around my hometown. I thought maybe this will give me something just to connect more with my community, to help out, do community events, things like that. And as far as the quality of the image goes, this produces a great image in video and in photography. And I'll try to put some examples up on the screen as I'm talking. It's got a really nice depth of field. Obviously 1.4 is great. The autofocus in this works great for photography. On the Sony A7 III, the IAF is awesome with this lens, so photographers, the story is getting better and better for you. The autofocus for video is good, but it doesn't track very well. It tracks well enough depending on what kind of shot you're wanting. You may be disappointed with it. If you're wanting to do like a rack focus using like the touch to focus on your back panel, it may be a little disappointing as well. And again, I'll put some example footage up on the screen as I'm talking, but what ends up happening is whenever I'm focusing on something, and say I tap the left side of the screen to get something in the foreground, but then I want to tap on something in the right side of the screen for the background, to rack focus to it, to draw my viewer's attention to that object. It's like this slight delay, and then it focuses pretty quick, but then just before it hits focus on that next object, it pauses for a second and then kind of smooths into it. And so that was a disappointment to me, that it wasn't, it was snappy, but not at first. It was like snappy in the middle of the transition, but not from point A to point B. It delayed a little bit once I started focusing, and then it was really snappy, and then right before it hit that perfect focus, it would delay just for a nanosecond or something. It was just long enough for me to perceive it. I hope it's coming through in the video. But that was a bit of disappointing to me. I've used this on I think just one wedding so far, and was really happy with the footage I got out of it. Again, I wasn't doing a lot of focusing techniques there. It was mainly just kind of on some details while the bride was getting her makeup applied. And again, the footage looks great. The background's blurred out. Skin tones look really nice. You know, no chromatic aberrations. Looks very good. But if I was wanting to do many focusing techniques, whether it was rack focus or tracking focus, then this camera is not going to live up to my other Sony lenses that I use currently, or even the Sigma 35 1.4, which I'm filming on now, and I'll be doing another video about that. I cannot think of the next thing I was going to say. The other negative that I have to say about this lens, it's not necessarily with this lens itself, it's just kind of the nature of 85mm. And I know that Canon and Nikon, they have some more, and Sony I think have some more portable options, but this is a really big lens. And as far as my workflow goes, this really doesn't have a place in my existing workflow to be able to access it quickly and fluidly. And what I mean by that is I wear kind of a pouch system from Think Tank, which is awesome, and it just helps me change my lenses really quickly throughout the day. So if I need my 24-70 on to get some more reach, then I can do that. If I need to get something with a really shallow depth of field, I can take that off, put my 55mm at a 1.8 on really quickly and get some really nice depth of field. And this won't fit in my existing pouches. They make pouches for this, but it's so heavy and it's so big and it's so just obtuse and just it's not very portable because it's so big and because it's so heavy. So I think with that in mind, that I'm not going to always have it on me, and I wouldn't always need an 85. I know that. Sorry, somebody's flying over me right now. But I want to be able to have a very quick and fluid workflow, and I'm gonna have to leave this in my bag, and whenever I want it for a very specific and unique situation, I'll go back to my bag and get it, put it on, and then when I'm done, I have to go back to my bag and take it off and put it down. And just for my kind of run and gun, on the move, on the go, all the time workflow, this isn't going to work very well for me. So I'm going to return this lens, and I'm kind of sad about it because, again, I was really looking forward to maybe getting into a little bit of photography, but it has to make sense for me for video too. And this guy has a pretty hefty price tag of around $1,200. And right now I have enough investment in gear and travel this year that I need to make sure that I'm spending my budget wisely and not going too crazy with gear. So 85, you're going back. I'm sorry, I know that makes you sad. But good news for my 35mm that you're watching me on right now. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it's gonna stay in the gear bag, and I'll make another video about that next. So I hope this video was helpful to you in some way. I know I probably didn't cover everything. It's not real technical, it's very personal, but please let me know if you have any questions about this lens. I'm sending it back tomorrow probably. So I won't be able to get much hands-on answering for you, but from my experience, from my use, I would be happy to answer any questions you might have about it. Let me know in the comments below. If this was helpful to you at all, I'd love for you to subscribe, hit that notification bell to know when I upload new videos. It's kind of irregular right now. I'm just starting my YouTube journey out, but if you like helpful content and you like people just kind of being real and encouraging each other, I think this could be a good community for you. It's been a pretty great journey for me so far. I really love when I get to help people out and just answer really practical questions and not worry so much about entertaining people. So anyway, that's kind of my side of the story, I guess. Have a great day, and let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks.